absolutely. No, I can attest that you do not like to lose in golf. I think it's one of the reasons I've beaten you so infrequently over the years, even though we have similar skill levels. But yeah, no, I remember when you went and chased that pro golf life down in Florida for a little bit, and man, that's a grind.
Oh God.
It's a we can get into that at a later date, but it is a full grind to get to the professional level. And I think one of the things that parents try to do is they try to rush their kid into that grind too early. We're going to have lots of guests on, and we're going to have lots of different opinions and lots of different theories about kind of what they did versus what maybe they wanted to do versus maybe what actually happened. You've got on your extremes, you've got your Earl Woods who was putting his kid in the 12-month bouncer and making him watch him hit golf balls all day, and then you've got your other end of the spectrums, right? Your Scotty Schefflers and your Jordan Spieth's of the world that kind of played a lot of different sports and then kind of went towards golf in middle school. And I don't necessarily think there's one. Just I have very strong feelings about the golf swing in terms of it doesn't have to be one way. There's so many different ways to do it. We just have to have the right matchup. And I kind of feel the same way when it comes to parenting and golf. There's not one way to do it, which I think is going to be really, really cool to see all of the different ways that people have raced, very, very elite golfers and all the different things that they did. Full Swing on Netflix gives us a little bit of like an insight to that. One of the
Yeah.
episodes that I remember was Tony Fidal's dad talking about he could only afford the range once a week to see ball flight. So he would go to the range once a week. They would putt another day on the week, and then the other 5 days a week, they're just hitting balls into mattresses into their garage.
Yeah.
Right. And the garage had all those dings in the doors and whatnot. So, it's for a parent to think that they have to join a $15,000 country club or they have to do things this way. Sure, that helps. It
Yeah.
certainly helps. But there's a lot that we can do as parents and as guiders of these children that, truthfully, if you can keep them interested in golf at a young age for 15 minutes, that's a huge win. And, just starting out with the fun side of things, I think it's just going to be cool to see the contrast and the comparison. So anyways, looking super forward to all of that and what we have in the future. My last kind of question that I had for you, and then we're just going to kind of go free talk. When it comes to your college golfers, do you ever feel like you already have been a golf dad?
Oh, definitely. Oh my gosh, definitely. Um, I'm with these guys that are 18 to, I guess, these days with COVID, well, now that's rolling over or rolling off, but almost 23 years old. But I mean, when you are 18, when you are 19, when you're in that age, you think you're a grown adult, but you just have no idea. And I'm 28 and I still don't, I now don't think I'm a grown adult because I feel like I have so much more to learn. But I mean, there's just so many things that I can do to impact their lives that maybe they don't see, maybe they don't realize I'm doing it, but definitely feel like a golf dad at times. One quick thing, just backtrack for just a second that just popped in my head. As far as like a parenting thing, and it's something that we'll probably get into later, but one of the coolest things I've ever heard about like a golf parent is you want to take your kid to the golf course and remove them from the golf course as soon as they start having fun, when they're really young, because that's going to make them want to come back for more. You don't want to drag them through that until they're like, I want to go, right? Because then they're going to always remember golf as like, man, I had to stay until my dad told me to leave, instead of I get to leave, or I get to come back, and that's where I get to pick up, is right where I was having fun, right? But anyways, yeah, I mean, I think a little bit of it is like you said. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways to be a parent, or a sport parent in general, right? And I think a lot of it is when to push, when not to push, and again, keeping fun in the game. And I have to do that quite a bit. I mean, I've got a lot of guys on my roster, a lot more guys on my roster than most teams, right? I mean, I've got 20 dudes right now. It's kind of crazy, but but yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm the one who's transporting these kids, getting them in their hotels, telling them when to go to bed, telling them when to wake up, making sure that they're practicing correctly and that they are practicing in general in the off season. and just kind of and feeding them on the road. I mean, it's like everything I'm doing is like I'm the parent of these 5 to 7 kids every week we travel, but also I'm the parent at home because I'm the guy that they can come to kind of release their frustrations about their golf swing, about their golf game, about life in general, school, whatever it may be. I enjoy playing that role too, just as much as I do being the competitive side as when we're on the road competing as a team. But yeah, again, it's so much fun just to get to play a little bit of a leadership role in these kids' lives. It's incredible.
Absolutely. I think I have this thing I've already created in my head called Twin Tower Time, and that's the two towers on your team that I would teach. And whenever they tell me they're going to be somewhere, they're going to be there roughly 30 to 45, maybe even an hour after that. So you just have to plan ahead. Because if they tell me they're going to be there at 11, they come walking into the building at 11:48. You're like, dude, like,
That's when they're leaving.
yeah, they're leaving at 11 and then a 45-minute drive. But no, I think that you hit the nail on the head when it comes to, we put a lot of responsibility. I think we don't put enough responsibility on children right now in this generation and in the 21st century as maybe our parents or even grandparents, their parents did to them. So at 18, when these kids used to be sent off to war, Vietnam and whatnot, now you're dealing with these kids and it's just like they're not quite ready. And to be honest, 10 years ago, 11 years ago, I was not ready either. There's no fault to any of it. It's just the way that times change and, you have to I think one of the things that you mentioned was your mental game maturing through the years, but I think you actually just mature, right? I think you actually just like go through this phase of, do you hear something in the background?
Yeah, it's like kind of, I don't know. I thought it was just them in there.
That was weird. Oh, anyways. All right. So, back to what I was saying. I think it's just one of those things where, what was up? We're gonna have to edit this part now. What the heck were we just talking about?
I don't know. I got to think about what I heard in the background.
Yeah, me too. That